Louis, welcome to Mansfield Town Football Club. First opportunity, I imagine, for you to get stuck in. What have you made of the club so far, then?
Yeah, I'm really pleased by the setup. Obviously, it's my first actual training ground, but my first thoughts are it looks really good. So can't wait to get started.
How did the deal come about then in January?
Well, I got a phone call, obviously from Stoke, and they let me know about the situation, and I was really keen to join up with yourselves. So can't wait to get going.
Case of an opportunity for some senior football on a regular basis. That must be great for you at this time in your career.
Well, yeah, you just got to look at my career. I'm only 18, so to try and play as much games as I could is really, I can't wait really.
So what do you know about the football conference? Because coming from Stoke, there are a fair few divisions higher.
Well, yeah, Stoke are a few divisions higher, but I don't know whether you know, but my brother plays for Alverton, the league below, so I watch him when I can. And I suppose there might be a difference in leagues, but I've watched a few games, so I know what it's all about.
It's a physical league, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely, but hopefully I can adapt to it.
So as a player, how would you describe yourself?
I think I'm hard-working, good touch, creative, and also chipping in a few goals.
In terms of your goal-scoring record, I mean, do you set yourself targets throughout the season?
Not particularly, no. I'd like to also score a few, but at Bradford, early on in the season, I didn't have as I would have liked. I was playing on the wing, and I'm class myself as a centre forward really. So I just like to chip in with a few.
Now we come on to Alverton, as you've mentioned, Mansfield Town's opponents this weekend. We'll come on to the family connection with your brother playing down the road. I mean, if you do get on, and if you do start this weekend, what an opportunity to, shall we say, have a family rivalry on the pitch.
Yeah, it'll be the first time we've done it as well. So my brother rang me up last night and he's buzzing. He can't wait. So it'll be good.
What do you know about Alverton? You said you've watched them a few times this season.
Yeah, Alverton, they seem like a good squad. Really, got a really big squad. I think they've lost a few players. I mean, there's two centre-halves have gone of late, so I think that might be a bit of a weakness for them. Hopefully, anyway, for my liking.
They're a side though still on a good run, and they're doing very well in the division below.
Yeah, they are doing very well, and they've done well. They did well last year as well, so they're a solid team. But I'm sure we'll give them a good game. And
you've just arrived here in Mansfield, but get the sense that the FA Trophy is something that the club are prioritising, or it's very high on their list of priorities.
Yeah, definitely. The gaffer said yesterday in training that he'd like to win it. So from him saying it, it's obviously a big competition for us.
And just here, I believe for a month at the moment. But what's your ambition, and where do you want to be in a month's time after you stay here at Fieldmill?
Well, we're going to see how the month goes, and if the gaffer likes me and I'm liking it here, obviously I've got the choice of extending it. So you never know what's going to happen in the future.
Well, David, welcome to Mansfield Town Football Club. You've not had to make a long journey just from Meadow Lane. I mean, give us an idea as to how this deal came about and why you decided to join the Stags.
To be honest, at the first I heard about an interest from Mansfield in December, but nothing was done at the time. And to be honest, I didn't hear anything all January. I had a couple of offers from back home, back from Hungary, but to be honest, this whole thing just came along on the transfer deadline day, just a few hours before deadline. So I just had a phone call from the assistant manager that Mansfield interested in taking me on loan. So I just made my way into the stadium and obviously just negotiated the deal.
You're a young goalkeeper, it's a case of learning your trade, and I imagine that's what you want to do here at Mansfield Town.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, at first I just want to get to know the boys and get used to the whole system and just get the number 1 jersey.
At the minute, you're up against another young goalkeeper here at Mansfield Town, Neil Collett. I mean, it would appear for the moment that the shirt's up for grabs. You want to obviously make a good impression.
Yeah, of course. My first training was on Tuesday, and I found like obviously he's the same age as me. He's a young goalkeeper. I think he's really talented as well. So, but I'm up for the challenge.
What do you know about Mansfield Town? Because you moved to Notts County in the summer. I mean, it's just down the road from Nottingham. But did you know much about the club before arriving here?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know much about the club. I knew it was a club with big history, nice stadium, and I know the club belongs to the Football League. So, and I think this is where this club should be. So I'm just going to try and help the club achieve that.
And what about the league that Mansfield Town find themselves in at the minute? It can be difficult for all goalkeepers. What challenges do you think it'll throw your way?
Of course, to be honest, I just really need to get experience. I played against some of the best players in the world. When I was at Hibs, I played against Barcelona and obviously all the best like Messi, Samuel Eto'o and Thierry Henry, so I don't think it can get any harder than that.
So what you're saying to me is you have no fear then of who you're going to face in the football conference?
Of course not, I'm up for the challenge and I just want to test myself.
As a goalkeeper then, how would you describe yourself?
I'm kind of a sweeper keeper. Like I like playing. Obviously, the defense always can get me involved if they struggle. I like kicking the ball, and I think my main strength is shot stopping.
Clean sheets have not always been a regular occurrence at Field Mill this season. I mean, that's something that you no doubt would want to correct.
Yeah, obviously, I would like to keep as many clean sheets as I can and work well with my defense. So. Obviously, I just need to get used to the boys. I hardly even know their names just now, but I think a couple of weeks and we'll be fine.
And just in regard to this deal, I mean, how long do you envisage yourself being at the club and what do you hope to get from it?
Well, just now I signed till the end of April, which is pretty much the end of the season. So, well, we will see what happens after that. I just want to have a successful loan here and see what happens after. Obviously, I have to return to Notts County at the end of my loan deal, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Russ, we've had an opportunity to speak to your latest acquisitions. Pleased with how January went for you?
Yeah, I am. Obviously, you know, I was a bit displeased early on with a couple of the players that I tried to bring into the club. And we did everything we could to get them to the club. Met all their demands, everything else like that. And at the 11th hour, it didn't happen. But as I said, I wasn't going to be pushed into or press ganging to buying anybody. We still had lots of players that we could have brought in, players that I don't think they were better than what we've got. But I was monitoring another couple on the radar, people that I knew of anyway. Hence, the boy Grof, the goalkeeper. He's thought quite highly of at Notts County. I mean, I spoke to Incy about him. I spoke to Alex Ray about him. I watched him a couple of times myself. And I was quite impressed with him. Although he's young, he's a very mature goalkeeper. He's got a good pedigree as well. He's been amongst good people. He was one that I wanted to procure because obviously with the Kevin Pilkington, Luton didn't play ball with us on that one. I think Kev was quite upset about it as well. I spoke to Kevin yesterday, and I think Kevin was really keen. He wanted to stay with us, but unfortunately we couldn't come to the agreement with Luton, so I had no choice, although I had the guy on the radar to bring another keeper in anyway.
So does David Grof become your number one, or does Neil Collett retain the shirt?
Neil Collett retains a shirt until he does something there. I need to put Groffy in, but I've got no qualms about putting Groffy in anyway. If anything happened to Neil Collett between now and the game, touch wood it doesn't, I would have no qualms of putting Groffy in. I've seen him play. I've watched him in training, and I'd have no qualms whatsoever.
I think it's fair to say though, before January you were quite happy with your squad, looking ahead to this second half of the season.
Yeah, I was, but I always said that if I felt I needed to strengthen it, then I would do that. I think we've done good business as a football club. I think we've quite a few players have gone out, and loan players as well. And what I can say about loan players is when you bring loan players in and then you're looking to bring them in on a contract, they've got to want to be at the club and want to play for the club. And I'm not going to, without pinpointing at people, I don't think some of them gave us that, and therefore I wasn't willing to offer contracts to players like that. But what I would say, I'd thank them for their contribution during the season. But I'm looking to pastures new. Like I said, I brought the three guys in, which I think will just give us a little bit more strength in depth. Obviously, the keeper we needed to bring in, that was a fact. I wanted to bring someone in to push Gary Silk, because Gary Silk doesn't have anybody that I've been having to put like Stevie Eisted, who's he's a midfield player, but who's the only one that really could have come in and covered at that slot. So I wanted to put pressure on players, and I think now when I look all around the squad now, there's pressure for positions all around the squad. So it's up to the players now to perform and warrant keeping the shirt. If not, I'll make changes.
Let's come on to the weekend then. Mansfield Town versus Alfreton. It says it all really, doesn't it?
Yeah, massive cup tie for us, isn't it? They're a good side. I've had them watched over the last few weeks. I know obviously Blackwell knocked them out, and I think was it Conor Higginson scored the goal. I'm not really sure.
Assist.
It was an assist. And I've spoken to Conor about them, but obviously I've got reports on them. They're a good side. They've been at the top of that division I think, are they lying second or third? No, I'm not sure. I think it could be third, they could be lying. But they're a good side, you know, they've got some good experience in there as well with like Stridey, you know, he's been around. Obviously they've got Louis' brother in there, so that should prove quite fruitful on the day. They've got other players that, you know, I've known in the past, like the boy Connor Franklin, the left back, obviously Moult, the left-sided player, Brown. They've got a few good players, and they'll be coming here, you know, to try and win the game. But I'm going to make sure they go away and they don't win the game. That's my overall aim.
And just in terms of your injury news, what I mean, have you got a full squad to pick from at the moment?
I have, yeah. Apart from Adam Smith. Adam Smith obviously came on against Wrexham, and he didn't look right. And then on training, again, I called him over, I chatted to him, and I think he was just so keen to get back into the squad, having been out for so long, that he really should have been a bit more honest about his injury, because obviously, you know, if he tells the physio he's okay, and the physio does work with him, and he looks fine, there's only Adam Smith knows exactly how he does feel if he's still got pain there. So I just pulled him out of training the day. I said, no, out you come. Go back up to the ground, get yourself some treatment, and go and see Adam. Go and see Jason. I've spoken to Jason saying we may have to go and get him scanned to see if there's anything sinister there. So I pulled him out of training. I just watched him. I knew he didn't look right, so I pulled him out and just said, no, go back. You're not right yet. So it's unfortunate, but you know we've got a good squad, haven't we? You know we've got. You know, Louis done a fantastic job playing out on that side for us. You know, scored a great goal against Wrexham last week. Obviously, you see Ashley Cain's is like having a new player. You know, people say to me, "Have you signed new players?" And I look at Ashley Cain sometimes, I think it's like you've signed a new player. Really, he's so exciting. He's been one of the most consistent players for us over the last few games. You know, he excites the crowd. Well, he certainly excites me, but he excites the crowd. And I think I like a pacey forward line, and we've got that in abundance at this club.
Thank you.